What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. They're linked below, and they do awesome work, so big thanks to them once again. Today we have hail chances for Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Kansas City. You guys are also in it, same with Springfield and Fort Smith. But our two pick cities for today for the best hail chances are probably OKC and Tulsa, so stay tuned if you guys are in and around those. And then afterwards, tomorrow, we have Central Plains chances. That risk is shifting up to the north. We could see some large hail and wind there as well. And then last but not least, Storm System Frank is officially making its debut, moving through the Central Plains into later this week through this weekend. So we could have a busy few days ahead of us starting on Friday. So we're going to take a look at that. But before all of our weather, our upcoming events come first. So the first of those is going to be our Orca Sporting Clay event. This is going to be at the Sporting Clay Complex in Skiatook, Oklahoma, April 21st. And there's breakfast tacos, coffee, barbecue food. There's, skeet shooting, and you can talk weather with us. So this should be a ton of fun if you guys want to get on out there. Skiatook on April 21st. Come say hello. And then we will also be doing the C3 Lunch and Learn. We're hosting that on May 10th. This is going to be at the HailTrace office on the 3rd floor. So if you guys want to learn about, assessing damage of flat roofs and all of that good stuff, C3 is putting on an awesome event, so make sure to get registered for that, and you can do that with this link here. So go ahead and check out the C3 Lunch and Learn. We'll be looking forward to seeing you there as well. And then, last but not least, into our past stuff before we get into all of our, active weather risks. We want to look at our current conditions and see what's going on right now, because that's going to play a huge factor in what we're seeing for our severe weather into today. So, yesterday we had a little trough move through. Today we also have another shortwave trough moving through, but that first shortwave could be causing some sinking in Oklahoma, and that's really going to play into OKC's chances. So zooming on in there, we have a ton of rain, some cloud cover moving through the Mississippi Valley right now as we get that first disturbance moving out of the way. But with that, we're really going to need to see how much recovery time Oklahoma can get ahead of this storm development into today. If the dry line can stay far enough west, and if we can get enough daytime heating back after that rain and cool weather moved through from last night, then we could get some big time hail for OKC, but it's going to be more conditional based on those two factors. So that's really what we're watching today. Tulsa, the area around you guys is a little more consistent for some instability, so we could see some hail forming through eastern Oklahoma later this afternoon, and that's all of what we're watching into today. So the rest of us should be clear, no risks. We might be getting some gusty wind as well as some marginally severe hail in the west coast of Oregon, but then that's going to stay pretty far below severe limits for hail for the majority of you guys, just some gusty winds possible. But 65 in LA, 57 in Denver, 78 degrees in Dallas, so we're starting to get that return of all that heat and humidity up through the southern plains, and then working our way back down to 45 by the time we get up to Minneapolis. So this whole area is going to see some activity later on this week, and we're just waiting for that air mass recovery up through the central plains. Then for dew points, that's again one of our big factors in instability is dew points. So that's just how muggy it feels outside. If you walk outside and your hair frizzes up, or you can feel the humidity on your hands, that's high dew points, So 64 degrees in OKC right now, pretty close to our outdoor temperatures, so it means it's super sticky outside. 50 in Little Rock, 39 in St. Louis, 49 in Kansas City, but you can see those deep greens continuing to stream up through Oklahoma, and this is really what we're watching here. This is good, okay? So we got this dry line in western Oklahoma, that sharp cutoff from the dew points to that dry air, and if it stays out there long enough, we could start to see storms developing along that and then moving into the OKC metro area, okay? So if you're hoping for a good storm later today, we're wanting to see this dry line stay farther out west. If it tracks eastward, then it's the Tulsa show, so we're going to be watching the position of that dry line. We've got two models that are in pretty sharp disagreement right now, so I'm going to show you both. We're starting out with the NAM 3K, okay? So this is the model that looks most close to what the conditions are right now if you look at that forecast for right now, so it matches up the best. So this is what it's showing for CAPE values by around 5 p.m. when those storms start to develop. So, we got those high values right along the I-35 corridor here, okay? So, with that, we could see storms starting to blow up explosively in and around the Oklahoma City area by around the end of your workday here, and then they taper off, and that cape sinks down with those storms, and then we move into tomorrow, and things start to pick back up once again. But 5 p.m. the NAM 3K is showing some good instability values. This is what it's showing here now on our future radar. Right at 5 p.m. with that high cape, we're starting to see those isolated supercells development, one right through the Edmond OKC area, and then some farther down in southern Oklahoma, some up near Enid. So we're watching these isolated cells on the NAM 3K. If that initializes, it looks like it's initialized pretty well. It started out with its forecast pretty well. If it stays good, if that dry line stays out west and this happens, we could get some big time hail moving through the OKC metro here. And then it tracks off to the east. There it is by 7 p.m., starting to make its way towards the Tulsa area and out of the OKC area. And then we'll start to taper off later on in the night, and we'll see the second band develop. Again, it's going to be just north of Fort Smith, just south of Springfield, and moving back west towards the Tulsa area by around 2 a.m. And we could get some hailers with that as well as that continues to kind of linger through the area, and then we'll be waking up to some showers in the morning. Now for the HRRR model, I call it the HRRR, it just depends on what kind of meteorologist you are, but for this model, it's showing things a little differently, okay? So here we are by 6:30, starting to see some isolated storm development. Now it's going to stay more towards the east because this has the dry line racing off to the east later this afternoon, and then our high cape values out towards Tulsa at around the same time later on this evening, okay? So get those initially starting off, get a pretty nasty supercell forming in the southeastern part of Kansas and working its way into Springfield. And then by 11, we're getting all of these scattered cells that could be hailers out in western Arkansas and western Missouri into later tonight. Those are going to continue off to the east, getting some out near Fort Smith, and then getting some isolated developments starting to try and track farther out west by tomorrow morning, but it's showing more of an eastern Oklahoma, western Missouri, and Arkansas kind of risk if that dry line shifts out to the east. So we're gonna wait and see what happens. Right now, the NAM is looking the best in terms of how it's done so far. Can that stay possible? We'll have to watch and see. But if that does come true, I'm thinking our largest hail size could be tennis balls, maybe even larger. We could get baseballs with that because the cape values are so high and we do have those high lapse rates. So plenty of hail growth possibilities and plenty of updrafts to support that large hail. So, we could see some large hail tonight either way, just where's that going to fall? So for our hail forecast for you guys right now, it's going to be quarters to $half anywhere from St. Louis all the way down into OKC, and then with that area of the largest hail, could be through Tulsa all the way to the OKC metro area once again. If that isolated cell development starts out along the 35 corridor, that'll probably be dropping the largest hail, but again, we could get some large hailstones out near Tulsa as well with that. So jumping on in city specific, St. Louis, if you get a storm, it'll probably be pretty scattered with marginally severe hail, so low end chance of quarters for you guys. Kansas City, you're on the north end and you're more towards the HRRR side of things. So if that initializes, Kansas City could have a better chance at quarters to $half. Same with Fort Smith. But then, if we go the NAM side of things, Tulsa has the best chance either way of seeing some larger hail tonight, moderate for you. Oklahoma City, if it happens, it'll likely be large hail. Will it happen? We're going to have to wait and see. So low end chances for you guys. So there's your hail risk for today. I'm going to be on the low end because of the uncertainty. I hate to give you guys those conditional risks, but it is what it is. Tulsa, we're really watching you guys. And then OKC, if something happens, it could be significant. Then moving back into our wind risk, it's going to be pretty much the same area, shifting it a little bit further west on that eastern side. We're just kind of pulling that back a little bit because of the scattered storm development through there. But for Springfield, Fort Smith, for Tulsa, OKC, and Kansas City, we do have a risk for some gusty winds, as well as some tornadoes where we are seeing that more singular supercell development through the area, so you want to be on the lookout for that. Tulsa, once again, you're in a moderate since it looks like both models are pretty consistently spitting stuff out in that area. Fort Smith, low end chance. Kansas City, Oklahoma City, also low end chance for all those aforementioned reasons. So watching that today, could be an active one. we're going to have to wait and see, but you know, if you're in OKC, Tulsa, and you're looking forward to severe weather, you know, do your hail dances and we'll see what happens. Then into tomorrow, we're looking at another day of potentially active weather, but it's shifting up north a little bit through Wichita, Kansas City, Omaha area. So by 1:30, we're starting to see these cells develop just in between KC and Wichita, and with that, you know, we're going to see those develop as they track north a little bit. You know, one run ago, there were some more intense models just north of I-70 there. It looks like it's backed off a little bit as time has gone forward, and it may just be some intense rain, honestly, at this point, with some gusty winds in there. And then we start to see things developing once they get into Missouri, into Iowa here, and then tracking off to the northeast. So we could have a better chance for hail moving through the northern Mississippi Valley as well as through the Central Plains. Now, there is really good instability out here. We're just kind of waiting to see what the conditions do, but you know, there's good enough instability to support large hail through central Kansas if storms can develop. So with that, that just puts us into this risk. So quarters to $50 anywhere possible through the northern part of Oklahoma all the way into Iowa and Missouri. Kansas City, you guys are in the risk, as well as Omaha, Wichita, Topeka. You guys could all see significant hail into tomorrow. Now the area of the best instability is outlined here, and with that, you know, comes our larger hail sizes, so ping pong to golf ball size possible. But again, quarters to $50 anywhere through that area. And we will see a wind risk as well, but again, you know, based on the current model runs, we're looking at more of our activity happening out towards the KC, Omaha, and Topeka corridor. So again, just waiting to see if the central Kansas swath can develop, and then we could get some large hail out of that. So wind is once again going to be pretty much the same thing. So if you guys are in Kansas City, Omaha, Topeka, Wichita, those are the big cities for tomorrow. Low end chance for you guys to get some gusty winds, but you know, we did see that line that's starting to track off to the northeast, and then we'll get that isolated storm development through Missouri and through Iowa. And so with that, you know, could see some damaging wind gusts or two and possible rotation. We're just going to have to wait and see. Then into this weekend, we're going to have a little bit more confidence in our risk because we're watching Storm System Frank, which is now officially named, moving into the Central Plains, and with that, you know, we could get some pretty significant activity moving through all of the plain states pretty much, and then up into the Midwest states here. So, you know, here we are today with this shortwave trough. It's getting ready to move through, and with that, we could get some significant development through the Mississippi Valley and through the Central Plains. Yes, it is named Frank. Frank here has a tendency to chase storms and then they immediately die. So we'll see what happens with Storm System Frank. But yes, as this first one moves through, we could get some storm development through the Central Plains and the Mississippi Valley. Then into Thursday. So we're pausing it at noon on Thursday, not so much because of the storm chances, but mostly because check out this ridge pattern here, okay? So with that, you know, you get all of this heat and all of this humidity streaming out of the Gulf into Texas, Oklahoma, and the Central Plains. And with that, you know, we start to get that instability building back. So the quicker that can happen, the longer that this ridge stays in place, the more instability builds up for this next trough as it swings through into the Central Plains. So there comes Storm System Frank, and there we are by 12 p.m. on Friday. We got a pretty decent trough digging down into the desert southwest there, and then out ahead of it is that cold front, and with that could spark some storms by Friday evening through the Central Plains here, all the way from really North Dakota into Texas. So it's going to be a widespread risk for Friday. That's going to continue off to the east. And then there it is again, guys. We had this with Storm System Derek, where this trough starts to swing forward. And then with that, you get all that rotation. You know, when they're swinging the other way, when they're shifted like this, you can still get some storm development, but it's generally a little weaker, a little more linear. When they're swinging out from northwest to southeast, that's when we can start to get some rotation, some isolated storm development, and we could get some more intense systems moving through by Saturday afternoon. And this is lifting up a little bit, so it looks like the Midwest here is likeliest to see some nasty weather moving into Saturday and Sunday. And then there it goes. It's going to continue off to the east for the beginning of next week. So here's your extended hail forecast associated with that for today and tomorrow. You know, medium confidence because of the conditional nature of those risks. However, looking like we could get some baseball-sized hailstones into today. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some purple on our maps. Ping pong to golf ball-sized hail into tomorrow through the Central Plains. And then on Friday, you know, we're still keeping our confidence as medium because it is a little further out, but it's looking more consistent. Model runs have been a little bit more cohesive with what they're putting out. So up to 2-inch hail on Friday and Saturday with that storm system as it continues to move through. And then it should go linear into Sunday, and we'll see more of a wind threat and our hail chances tapering off. But we're going to have to see what happens as time moves forward. So, you know, we got a couple risks for y'all today. Here's our look ahead forecast into the next few days. So here we are Friday, like I said, all the way from Minnesota down into West Texas. We could see supercell development all along that cold front and dry line combo. The severity of that, as well as the threat types, are still, you know, we're waiting to see, and we're going to put out a risk for you guys into tomorrow. You'll see Friday's risks on our day 2 forecast, but we're watching this. You know, we could get some pretty intense storm development through that cold front dry line combo. Then into Saturday, things are going to, you know, shrink a little bit. We're going to get most of our intense and severe storm development through the Des Moines, Kansas City, Wichita corridor. So if you guys are in KC, you know, we might have some good news for you guys if you're wanting severe weather. You know, as this storm system moves through, Kansas City area could see some severe weather on Saturday for your weekend. And then Sunday, it's going to continue to shift off to the east, and we'll have to outline that risk for you guys as time goes forward, so stay tuned. But if you guys want to follow us, you can get us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. And then follow us on TikTok. Derek may or may not be live currently, but he's going to go live soon. Oh, he is live currently? Okay, Derek is live right now giving his take on everything. So go to TikTok, follow us on HailTrace, and you know, you can hit that live button or whatever, and you'll see what he's breaking down for our forecast into the next few days. So definitely want to check that out. Then you can also give us a call at 855-334-4245 if you want to talk to us on the phone, or if you'd rather email us, you can get us at info@hailtrace.com. Also check out our website, hailtrace.com, for more details on who we are and what we do, and we'll keep you updated as always. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.